Well, hey neighbors, welcome to the shed shop. Do you like how I wear the same clothes 2 days in a row? I did. I put the same damn shirt on. I changed my pants, but I didn't really get much dirty yesterday. And I'm tired of doing laundry 4 times a week. Listen, we are working on a Husqvarna 435 for a neighbor right down the road. But first, I want to explain something to you about a video I just released with the police. Listen, YouTube is trying to filter most of the comments people are leaving because they're saying vulgar things. I will not. I have the authority as the creator of the channel to withhold comments and decline them to be made public. I will not on this channel most of the time anyways, but especially if it's on a First Amendment video, we're not gonna prevent anybody from saying what the fuck they want to say, bad or good, no matter how much I hate it or disagree with it, think it's ignorant, think it's insulting, blah blah blahs. We're going to allow the freedom of speech to be exercised. That being said, it kind of ties into some of the stuff. It might not seem like it, but for me it does. My life, you guys get my life. You don't just get one specific channel where we're spending too much time making these fancy videos. No, I'm not here for that. I'm here to spread fucking love, kindness, and a right to be a human being, period. An uninfringed human being, period. So I had neighbor Bo, I've told you guys about, threatened me, accused me of doing him dirty. One of the things I can't stand, I can stand a lot of shitty character. I can stand being bullied. I can stand a lot of things being said bad against me. I'm an honest person. Even though I lie just like every other human being on this earth, I don't typically do it intentionally. And I care, and I don't say I worked on somebody's stuff and put new parts on somebody's stuff if I did not. Again, what I did 10 years ago is different than what I do today in business. But part of the thing that drives people in the small engine business to just be assholes, so to speak, is because if you call some of my local shops right now, they're 6 months on their two-stroke work. That's how long you have to wait. And so we know there's a demand for this kind of work. There's a demand especially for people that are like me and will put in all kinds of ridiculous hours and keep your bill low. We're hard to find. Work hard. And so when somebody questions my morals, or says I'm something that I'm not in my character, even though there's tons of proof against what they're saying, it kind of almost becomes irrelevant to me that there's proof. It becomes a challenge to accept that, and so that's a large part of why I record my work, and I do it more and more and more, and it prevents me from working sometimes, because I get people like that make accusations against me. Now I've got the gentleman Bear that owns this Echo calls me today. He brought his saw over, and basically he said it was bogging. It had been running fine for years and years and years. All of a sudden started bogging in the cut. Oh, well, shit. It's old, and all of a sudden it starts doing this. Well, start asking some questions. While he's here, he starts his saw up. I get it tuned in a little bit leaner, and I cut with it, but it stops dead in the cut like 3 times. Dead in the cut. Start again, gets through, stops, dead in the cut. 025 for neighbor Kyle. Similar kinds of issues. The challenge was, I told him it shouldn't be doing that. I don't think it's anything major, but I don't know. It's always hard to tell. I told him I would go ahead and do a complimentary vac pressure test on that saw if it wasn't too hard. That saw is very hard to do a vac pressure test on. But we rebuilt the carb, and I'm having issues with it. And I give my customers updates. Listen, ask any of my customer neighbors. I send text messages and audios. I give update videos. I'll send them a video, whatever, to give them an update on their stuff. Shops don't do that. Neighbors, your stuff's done when it's done. Most of the mechanics in the shops, they ain't gonna call you and let you know, well, I fought with your saw today, and I struggled, and I have this issue still presenting. I need to take my days off, and I'll try to get back to it this day. But when you tell somebody 1 to 2 weeks, and then they get upset with you when you're not done with their stuff in 1 to 2 weeks, and they think it cut fine, that really upsets me. And then you tell them it seems like you're upset your stuff's not done, and you're rushing me, and then they say, I'm not rushing you, and I'm not in a hurry, blah, 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 but you said 1 to 2 weeks, and it's like, well, shit, neighbor, I told you how far behind I am. This is a beautiful saw, neighbors. It's vintage. And it's just like Nathan's 041. You have to have space, at least me, a space to work on this stuff. And that means space in your brain too. You have to be able to sit down with this shit and say, okay, let me take my time, because this has got most of its paint still. I will not rush. Please understand something. If you're local and you're going to bring your chit to my shop, or I got plenty of y'all, tons of you guys have asked me, can I send my chit to your shop to have it redeemed? And I have to tell basically all of you, not all of you, some of you are close, and it's just basic. You just want work and you're willing to pay that extra cost in shipping to have me work on it. I have to tell a lot of people no, sorry, because of that reason. My lead times are ridiculous, number one. And chit, what was I gonna say with that? Oh, if you come to my shop and you want your stuff worked on, I tell people I'm at least 4 weeks, I'm at least 6 weeks. I've told people that are waiting, they're waiting until the second shop is ready and done to send their stuff to have it redeemed on the channel, or even by me. Most people haven't even specifically requested to have it on the channel. They've just asked me to work on their saw. What an honor. Legit, what an honor. I come on here and show you guys how frustrated I get, how pissed off I get, how discouraged I get, how much I want to quit, how much pain I'm in, how shitty my character can be, and you still want to send your stuff across the country to a guy that used to be a drug addict in the middle of the woods in a tiny little shed standing up for his rights. I love it. It's beautiful. That being said, if you bring your chit to my shop or send your chit to my shop, perfection, high quality work. I won't call it perfection. Sorry. I try to do a perfect job, but that's not always possible. Scraping little, to me, perfect means every little speck of dust comes off your saw if you're having it redeemed. If you want good work done and you want it done right and you want it done by me, I will not be rushed. Now listen, please understand, if you own a tree service or something else and your equipment is needed for a job, that's a totally different story. But if you're somebody in the middle of summer that tells me no rush and doesn't need their saw, and then you want to rush me, tell me you're not rushing me, and then tell me I'll have 2 weeks to get your saw done, or you're going to come get it, I'm going to do what I did today. I'm going to kindly and politely tell you, I think that's unreasonable, but if that's the way you feel, you'll need to go ahead and come get your equipment now. And sometimes I'm going to tell you no labor charges. Sometimes I might not even want to deal with you enough that I'll tell you it's completely free, even with new parts. Most of the time I'm going to tell you, but you can't have these parts that are on it and you're getting it in the condition it's in. If it's half torn apart, that's how you get it back. Okay? I'm done, neighbors. I'm so done. If you're going to question my character, or you're going to complain about how long it's taken to have your stuff work on here, then you need to do your due diligence and understand I'm a disabled man with a lot of shit going on in life. And if you're going to tell me you don't care that I had to lay in bed for 2 days instead of 1 day and take a second day off, and that Monday I couldn't pull your cord because I had to go find out my neck is all jacked up, and you're going to tell me, listen, I got a broken back and everybody's got their problems, blah, 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 blah. Don't bring your shit here. Don't waste our time. I promise you. That's why I told that man, we're just going in circles. I've asked you if I've misunderstood what you're saying, and you've told me, yes, there's a miscommunication. Now, please also understand, this guy never raised his voice, never cursed, which I wouldn't care if he did. I don't care about what words you use. I care about how you use them with me. But, I mean, I'm not going to have a clock put on my work on a vintage saw that seemed like it might have been a simple problem, but then I find out your very expensive, hard to find intake boot is likely the culprit. As soon as I pulled that carb off, I even told him I have record of it, but that I was going to try and get around having to replace that part for him, that we'd put his carb on and see what it's doing. The saw's not happy. It's even less happy now than it was before. So, nothing I can do about that. I could have let my neighbor leave my driveway that day when I just tuned his saw up, and I know something's not right still. Something's completely wrong with this saw. I know it for a fact. A saw, when you're cutting, should not just stop. Its chain should not just stop spinning, but the saw keep running. Something is wrong if it does that. And if it's not a doll-ass chain, and it's not you're getting bound up in bark or something, your saw shouldn't do that. And if it does, there's a problem. And so I told my neighbor I felt there was a problem with his saw still. I could have charged him my $25 I charge my neighbors. I have a $50 shop minimum, but I usually make it $25 for my local neighbors. Especially if I just have to tune a saw. Most of the time I say you don't have to pay me, but a tip would be nice. And most of my neighbors tip me. But I don't really do that anymore because I don't have time. And I got to get paid for my skills. I expect my skills to be respected. I give a lot of people a chance to respect my skills, but most people don't. Let me rephrase that. A lot of people don't. Okay, so that being said, that's why I'm recording this silly shit right now. I don't have time to record this. I didn't have time to sit down and give you that 10-minute explanation. But my problem is, my shitty character is, when you come at me with shitty character, I don't usually do what I did today and be nice and calm and polite. I normally literally tell you, fuck off, fuck you. Don't fucking make accusations against me. If you're being an asshole, I'm usually an asshole. And I've decided that's the way I want to operate again. I'll be excessively nice to you in all aspects of life if you're nice to me. But in any aspect of life, if you're unkind to me or make false accusations, you can tell me I'm being shitty if the facts present that I'm being shitty in my character. That's cool. I expect you to, all of you, no matter what you believe. But if I'm not being shitty and you're just saying I'm being shitty because you're not happy, or your feelings are hurt, or you're mad, or you had a bad childhood, and instead of talking to me about that shit, you just want to come at me, well, I'm going to come at you back. Don't bring your shit here in the first place. You're wasting our time. But if you want professionalism, if you want a guy that will keep you updated as best he can on your shit, unless you say, I don't give a shit, spend what this is, spend what that is, and tell me when it's done. I have people that they don't want updates. I trust you. Get your shit done. Let me know when I can pick my shit up. I'm going back to work. Cool, thanks, neighbor. How do you think my fucking tree service guys do usually? They're busy. They just bring their shit off, say, you know what it needs, look at it, find out. I shouldn't have to tell you. Some of my guys said, I've had guys in the past that they literally wouldn't say a fucking word. Once they were established with me, they dropped their shit off, say, you're the expert, I shouldn't have to tell you a thing. But he paid me damn good. Way over what the bills were, always. This guy paid me damn good. Anyways, that being said, let's get to work. I'm tired, can you tell, neighbors? I'm a lot tired. I just had more rock dumped, and it's people being assholes, and the fact that I have to record every job I do because I don't want my neighbor down the road to come be an asshole. He expects this shit tomorrow. He put me on a clock. I'll be back Wednesday to pick it up. It just needs tuned in. You know, people say shit just needs tuned in. I tried tuning this shit in with him in the driveway. Didn't work. So, to cover my ass, so y'all neighbors know how shitty people can be, because I'm going to show you. I'm going to expose these people. That might destroy my business. Fine, fuck it. I'll do something else. I don't care. My life has been no good. And so, I'm going the way I want to go forward. I've spent my whole life worried about everybody's happiness around me. It's time to worry about mine. With that being said, neighbors, I always lie to you. Say we're getting to work. But the majority of the time, we don't get to work. Like I said, this is largely my break time. Okay, so this all starts. It'll idle somewhat, and it won't allow you to give it any throttle. I have tried, like I said, while my neighbor was here, doing a little bit of tuning on the carb, and it wouldn't respond enough to me that I felt confident nothing was wrong. He put seafoam in this saw. I have seen seafoams destroy a lot of base gaskets in the Johnson Reds, in the Poulins, in the all those rubber base gaskets, neighbors. I see a lot of them get destroyed. And so my thing right now is I'm very curious to see what his carburetor looks like inside. But I wanted to look at his air filter. It looks fine. That's why I didn't even look at it too much. It looks clean. Primer bulb's good, not cracked or nothing. He has new fuel in it, he said. It did look like the fuel was okay to me. I asked him what he's using for mix, and he explained a regular mix to me. But see, when I smell this, it smells old to me. So a lot of times people think the fuel they've had in their garage or their shed for 3 months is still good. That's not always the case. The quality of our fuel has gone way down. So now what we need to do is we'll just go ahead and we will pressure test his fuel line and his carburetor. I forgot the mighty vac. It's over here. Let me grab it. Here we go. Shed Shop 2.0 will be here Monday, neighbors. Keith's coming tomorrow to spread the rock I got. It's funny, I got some, I'm going to tell you all about the company I got the rock from, and the company I got done dirty by on my other rock, coming up very soon. The company I got my crusher run from, their crusher run is almost the same as what Rogers Group, the quarry that did me dirty, is claiming is number 57. It's almost the same as the crusher run. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pump pressure. Go about 7.5 pounds to start. No immediate obvious leak. Let's go up to 10 pounds. And then I'll just examine his fuel line. It's not bubbling up anywhere. It looks good. And that's holding pressure. So it's probably not the fact that his inlet needle is causing flooding due to unseating. And so fuel filter seems to be okay. It's full of fuel, so it's clearly filling up with fuel, which I have no reason to believe it's not picking up fuel. Probably could use a new one, but we'll see before we go ahead and put a new one in. Once we put a new one on, we got to charge him. So we'll see what happens with this saw first and go from there. Yeah, I checked where these screws were. I tried resetting them in a couple of spots and rerunning the saw, and unfortunately did not have luck. So like I said, that's why we're going a little more in depth to see if we can find what our problem is. Neighbors, damn, that's tight. I hate when bolts are that tight. They shouldn't be that tight on carburetor stuff. I'm going to lower you neighbors down so that I can pause. Okay, sorry neighbors, this isn't really an educational video. It's more cover my ass and let you know I don't have time to teach you things that I'm not an expert at, which getting carburetors off of husqvarnas is most definitely something I am not an expert at. Okay, there we go. That was a lot of work. Whilst we have that going on, plug this up, protect it. Oh, shit. I certainly thought that was going to be the right size. Thought I grabbed a different one. Okay, try that again. There, now we won't get stuff inside his motor. And given that his carburetor tested clean, I do smell, it smells just excessively like rancid fuel back here in his carb housing. So I do believe we probably have a gooped up carburetor. I haven't pulled a spark plug yet. I was going to do that because I started to get a little flustered with this thing. But sometimes you just got to roll with what you're doing and trust your instincts. When you start smelling something like that, you're like, okay, I really want to know before I check that carburetor, what am I facing back here, or before I check that spark plug and see what kind of condition the saw was running. The saw was running fine and was stored and not running fine, and all the time I get told, well, I use seafoam. People don't understand. Just because you put fuel preservative in your garbage fuel, so you took the garbage fuel preservative and put it in the garbage fuel that's sold to us by garbage corporate America, and you trusted it to be fine. Sorry neighbors, it's not. Most of the time it's not. That fuel, that seafoam, I love it for my vehicle because it's good for the vehicle. I've never used it in my 2-strokes, but I've had a lot of people tell me things where they put it in 2 strokes and then they had to bring their stuff to me the next season. And a lot of times I find rubber base gaskets and stuff are leaking air because the seafoam didn't do them right. Wow, this saw is doesn't want to let me have anything, I guess. I've been unscrewing screws for like 5 minutes here. Goodness sakes. About time to get the drill out, I guess. Jeez. There we go. I think that's the last one. Oh yeah, that's stiff as hell. That thing is just like solid. Can't even move. Neighbors, look at that. I got it to move, but damn, that thing was stuck. That was most likely our culprit, the rancid gas. So I'll bet you we rebuilt his carburetor, and as long as his base gasket didn't get attacked by the seafoam, my neighbor will probably be able to pick up his saw tomorrow. That is my hope. Okay, where is... I'm trying to find... oh, it's going to be between these two on this setup. Okay, our pump diaphragm. We need to remove these two covers. These two parts from being together. We need to divorce them. Only temporarily though, so it's really only a separation. And it's a separation so that we can bring them back together with a stronger bond in between. His pump side, yeah, it's kind of stiff, but it probably wasn't the main culprit. But we'll go ahead and replace it. Looking at these diaphragms, I know I have the metering. This is a Zama, I think. I might have the diaphragm. I don't know. No, this is a... Yeah, this is a Zama. What is it? A C1. I don't see our numbers. It's a C1T. I might not have that gasket. I don't know that I do. We might have to order a kit from my neighbor. Might have to order a kit from my neighbor. A little bit of gasket stuck. Not too bad. So that being said, one of the things I used to do that I don't do anymore because I record, but I'm going back to, is a lot of small engine shops, they keep the old parts they replace to give back to the customer when they pick their chit up. And I might have to start doing that again right quick before you guys go. I just want to see, do I have these diaphragms? Because then you guys will see why. I can tell my neighbor tomorrow I might be able to reuse his pump diaphragm, but he said he's not in a hurry. He has other saws. I'm looking. I do not see this specific pump diaphragm in my kit here. It is weird. It's a C1T. I don't see really a lot of those because, again, you guys, I work on mostly steels. I see tons of different carburetors, but they're usually C1Qs and C1Ms for Zama and C1Us, not C1Ts. Okay, I don't see this one. We don't have it unless I have it in my dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of other carburetor kits. We will find out. But that is it. That is, for now, the diagnostics of... oh, should we look at the spark plug real quick? I probably should pull the damn muffler, too, and expose the piston, but I'm hoping the piston is good. It's sad that I have to do this, though, neighbors. I think I'm making these videos right now largely to show you this is what I have to go through in order to not have people come up into my shop swinging fists. Yeah, looks fine. Maybe a teeny tiny bit on the rich side, but I'd rather see that than anything. It's not overly rich. It looks like he's been running his saw fine. Lots of hard carbon buildup, though, from what I can see inside the piston here, or the cylinder. No obvious or immediate signs of scoring. I still see cross hatches extremely strongly, almost too strongly. It's not really cross hatches, it's just like circles, evenly placed vertical circles around the cylinder. Weird looking. Okay, from what I would think, I would hope, as long as the base gasket isn't bad, he should be fine. We'll get back to you when we get back to work on the saw. Be kind to one another. Everyone's facing a battle. Love you, neighbors.